Okay, today we're going to work on a ball bouncing program. You can see here this is what it's going to look like when we're done with it. So just have a gravity effect on the ball, and the ball just bounce until it stops bouncing. So we're going to use P5.js for this, and this is just going to be what my channel is pretty much. Just going to work on coding challenges using processing or P5.js, and I'll just learn while I go, so it'll be pretty fun. So let's get started. So I have a program opened here. Just going to start by making a canvas. We'll just say 500 by 600. Then background 0. Same for here. So now we got a background. Let's now create a ball object. And we'll give it a position. We'll give it a velocity. We'll give it an acceleration. So we'll just say A. Alright, so now let's also pass in a radius. Oops. And then we'll create a function to update the balls. And a function to show the balls. For this, we'll just say stroke is, for now, just white. Stroke weight will be the radius, and we need to make this dot r. And then let's just set the position to 250, 100. Then let's create a ball just to make sure it works. A variable called ball. The setup will say ball equals new ball. We'll say it's 15 pixels wide in radius, and then in the draw loop we'll say update, we don't need that yet, and then ball show. Yep. And then we also need to show it. So point this dot pause dot x and this dot pause dot y. Alright, so now we got a ball in the middle of the page. So now we gotta have some effects. We'll add the gravity in there first. So let's make a variable called gravity. Set gravity to 0.5, something like that. We can mess around with that later, but keep it there for now. Okay, so then inside of update, we're going to say this dot velocity add. So we want to add the acceleration to the velocity. Then we want to add the position by the velocity. Then finally reset the velocity, or reset the acceleration. So we're just going to multiply it by 0. So, and then I guess we can just say, well, let's make a function to apply the, no, I think this will work. So we'll just say this dot a dot add gravity. See how that works? Okay, so now we've added our gravity into the ball, so it falls somewhat realistically. So now what we want is we want it to bounce when it hits a certain position. So let's pass in to the ball function at a floor Y position. So we'll say that'll be 500 pixels, or 500 down for now. So then this dot floor equals floor. And then let's show that. So we'll say stroke equals 25500 line from width of this dot floor to, oh wait, 0 width to this dot floor. Rerun it, and oh, floor Y and stroke weight to 2. Oops. There. So this is going to be our floor for now. And then we'll move it down when we're done working out all the details on this. So let's start by recognizing if it touches the floor. We want to make a new function just to keep it clean. Is touching, and then we'll say we'll pass in like a Y position. So we'll say we'll just return this dot pause dot Y plus this dot R divided by 2. So this extra piece right here will just make it so when the very front of the ball, and the very bottom of the ball in this case, hits the ground, so instead of going halfway through, it goes right. It makes it look like it's bouncing right away. So we'll say that, and then we'll say is less than, no, it's greater than or equal to Y. So we'll return that, and inside of our update function, we'll call this, and we'll say this dot is touching this dot floor, and we're going to save that as the state. So the state of the ball, so we can tell if it's touching the floor or not. And real quick, we'll just log this so you can see. So we'll get false. It keeps giving false until eventually when it hits the floor, it goes under. It starts giving true, which is good, because then that means that it knows when it's touching the floor. So then, when that happens, we're going to need to make it bounce and change its velocity. So we're going to say if state. So if state equals true, we're going to say okay, so then we're going to, real quick, we'll just make a new function called bounce. Pass in decay. And so that will just, that's going to make it so the ball, the more time, every time it hits the ground, it'll lose some energy and it'll continue to bounce lower and lower and lower until it just stops bouncing. So what we're going to do for that is it's just going to be the velocity, or the velocity y multiplied by the decay, which is going to be a number between 0 and 1. So 0 being 0%, 1 being 100%. So it'll probably, we want it to be between 0.1 and 0.99. So there will be some decay. And we're going to save this as the new velocity after we multiply the whole thing by -1. So it'll go down, then bounce up. So if we write this out, we'll return negative this dot velocity, this dot vel dot y times decay. And that's going to be saved as the new, so vel dot y, or this dot vel dot y equals this dot bounce, and then the rate, we'll just say 0.5. Oh, let's move this to the beginning. I don't think this is going to work, but let's see. Okay, so it's changing kind of, but we need to make it so it bounces up. So let's try this. So let's try to reset the acceleration there. So that stops it. See if we multiply by -1. Okay. Let's set the decay to 9. Okay, so we have that's working kind of, but it's also kind of not working. So let's see if we can find the solution to this. Let's log the old and the new. Okay. So it is working kind of. Just gotta So might have to look at my code that I did earlier on this, but I'm gonna try not to. Try to just do this again. I don't know why. Let's see. This is not gonna. Stop. Yeah, this is. Oh, duh. Not saving it. Yep. Yep. Okay. Oh my gosh. Nope, not that. See, maybe? Probably not. Yep, okay. Okay. I'm gonna look at my recent code on this. Ball bounce. So I got the backup. Okay, so okay, so it's just getting stuck. So what if we say this dot pause dot y equals this dot floor yeah, let's try that. Okay. This dot floor minus this dot r divided by 2. Try that. Alright, so it's working, kind of. It's pretty good for so far. And we might as well create a called maybe wait, and we'll just say like we'll create a array called props. Inside we'll have r and wait just to keep it clean. So we'll take out this. Then wherever we have this at r, we're going to say props.0 at props0 props.0. We'll see. does the same thing. Just makes it a little cleaner. And then we're going to set the weight. The weight will depend on how fast it will decay. So it's not going to be a true rate. So we'll just call it decay rate. But that's something you can add in if you want. You can add weights to make them fall faster. That'd be kind of cool. I think I might try that later on. That'd be interesting to get into. So when we say bounce, we'll say this dot props I. But we need to decay rate 0.2. We'll see how that is. That'll decay pretty fast. And then we'll get, rid of these logs. And then you can kind of mess around with the things to make it look better or function more accurately. But that's pretty much it. So I guess one thing I can do really quick is let's move the floor to the height of the window. And then we don't really need to show it anymore. We can just get rid of that. And last thing, we'll make a function just to close these, organize them a bit. Let's make a function mouse pressed, and instead of ball, we're going to make multiple balls. So we're just going to add, so you can, whatever you click, you'll create a new ball. So I'll make an array, and instead of this, we will say if the mouse is pressed, we will say balls.push new ball, and then we'll pass the height, the size, so we can either say random 10 to 25, and then if we want, we can say the decay is random 0.4 to 0.8, something like that. So every time you click the button or you click the mouse, it will create a new ball, and then there'll be multiple balls. And we need to change it from starting in the middle of the page to the mouse X position and the mouse Y position. Then up here, instead of checking for just one ball, we're going to say for balls. We're just going to say ball. And then see how that is. So now we get different balls with different sizes and decay rates. We can get them all bouncing. So you can change the color on these. You can do a lot more stuff with this than what I did. And like you can make it like kind of like this. So there's a lot of possibilities with this. So I hope you enjoyed watching me code.